guys, happy Wednesday. I wanted to share this gorgeous stitch with you. This is like broomstick lace and drop stitches in between sections of garter stitch. And since you have these drop stitches, it works up really quickly. Now for my sample, I am using some worsted weight merino wool, but I think this would look absolutely fabulous in a drapey fiber like tencel or silk, and maybe a sport weight or a fingering weight. How gorgeous would a summer stole be with this stitch? Now the edges are not very pretty, as you can see here, so depending on how you use the stitch, I would recommend adding some additional stitches to each side. Maybe a garter stitch border would look really nice, and maybe a couple extra rows at the top and bottom of the pattern of a garter stitch. Now this is worked on a multiple of 4 plus 2, so I have I think 14 stitches here for my sample, and as I said, I'm using worsted weight yarn and my needle size is US 7. To start out, rows 1 and 2, you're just going to knit all stitches, so that's pretty simple. So here's row 2, again just knit. Now this pattern might look a little intimidating, but I think if you are an adventurous beginner or somebody who's not afraid to try something they've never done before, you could definitely do this stitch. It really is not as hard or complicated as it might look. Now row 3, going to knit the first stitch, and for the rest of the stitches except for the last one, what you're going to do, we're going to be knitting, but instead of just wrapping the yarn once like you normally do for a knit stitch, before you pull your needle through, you're going to wrap the yarn 3 times. And then drop the stitch off the left needle. Okay, so that's what you have on your right needle. Just wrap 3 times for each stitch. Now you don't want to wrap really tight. You just want to give your needle a hug with the yarn. You don't want to strangle it with those wraps. Okay, so for the last stitch, you're just going to knit as you normally would. You're not going to do those extra wraps on the last stitch. Okay, row 4, you're going to knit the first stitch. And now what we need to do, we're going to be doing some slipping here. So if you take a look at your stitches, you're not going to count these as 1, 2, 3 stitches. This whole little group of wraps, this is just going to be 1 stitch. So be really careful as you're working these. Make sure that you see this on your left needle. So we're just going to slip the next 4 stitches, and you want to make sure your yarn is in the back of your work. So you just put your needle in purlwise and slip that stitch off and just let all of those extra wraps fall off. So you have a really long stitch on your right needle. You're going to slip 4, so that was 1. And here is my 4th stitch. Okay. Now what you want to do, you want to take your left needle and grab those 4 long stitches, put them back onto the left needle. Okay, so this is what you have. And now we're going to be working 4 times into these stitches all at once. So you're going to knit, purl, knit again, and then finally purl one more time into those stitches and then drop them from your left needle. Okay, it might look a little ugly right now, but it will all straighten out as you continue to work. So that's what we're going to be doing across the row. You're going to be slipping 4, and once you've got those extra wraps dropped, you're going to slip those 4 stitches back to your left needle, and then working into those 4 stitches at the same time, you're going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 before dropping it from the left needle. Okay, so here go my 4 stitches back to the left needle. Knit, purl, knit, and purl one more time, and drop from the left needle. Okay, and then you're just going to knit your last stitch. So you should have something that looks like this when you're done with row 4. For row 5, you're just going to knit all stitches. Row 6, we're just going to knit all stitches again. Row 7, again we're just going to continue to knit all stitches across the row. And row 8, just knit. Okay, for row 9, we are going to be doing those triple wraps again, just like we did up in row 3. And you're going to do that for all stitches in the row. So you just put your needle into your stitch like normal, and you just wrap it 3 times before you drop it from the left needle. And again, you don't really want to wrap these very tightly. Just try to keep a nice even tension on it. Okay. And for row 10, I think I forgot to mention in the beginning, this is a 10 row repeat. So this is our last row. We're going to be knitting this row, and as we do, we're going to be dropping those extra wraps. And this row is what produces this part of the fabric right here. And remember, your stitch is going to look like this. Okay, this is going to be worked or considered as one stitch. This is not 3 separate stitches. So you're just going to knit as you normally would. And when you pull the stitch off your left needle, you're just going to drop all of those extra wraps. And it does look a little bit sloppy when you first work this row, but as you continue working, things even out and it looks really nice. And the last stitch. Okay, so you would just repeat those 10 rows for the pattern. And if you really wanted to jazz this up a little bit, I think maybe some beads on these drop stitches would look nice, or in maybe one of these rows in the garter stitch sections between the broomstick lace and the dropped stitches. I think that would just look really, really nice. So if you make any projects with this stitch, feel free to share a picture on my Facebook page. I would love to see your work. Also, if you like this video and you want to see more videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so I know that you like the videos. So, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy yarn, and I'll see you again in a few days for the regularly scheduled weekly stitch. Bye!